whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. 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 Come, even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, even if you've been waiting for a miracle to come. Just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come, just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come, come.
Shuva, 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 yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, shuva, 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 yet again
Whoever you are, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. 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 Wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. 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 Come, even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times.
Shuva, Shuva, yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, Shuva, 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 yet again
Whoever you are, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, even if you've been waiting for a miracle to come. Just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come, just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come,
Shuva, 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 yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, Shuva, Shuva,
you are, whoever you are. Whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come, wanderer, worshipper, doesn't matter, ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, even if you've been waiting for a miracle.
Yet again come, Shuva, 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 yet again come, oh Shuva, Shuva.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom to those joining us from home on a Shabbat that follows Yom Kippur, when our bodies might be tired. Mine is, from the fasting and from the intensity of the season. I was thinking to myself, I could dread getting myself here and getting my energy together, but then I remembered something really important about Shabbat, which is that the rabbis say it's a time that we get an extra soul. And so here all of us are here to invite that extra soul that comes in to lift us and energize us and open us in Shabbat. So I hope that when we welcome Shabbat, that you will also welcome that energy, that extra soul that Shabbat has for you. We're going to begin our service with one of my favorite parts of Kabbalat Shabbat. The words are, Or Zarua la Tzadik u'liyishrei lev simcha. Light is sown for the righteous, and and joy for the upright of heart.
צדיק וישרה לשמחה. עוז אהוב על הצדיק וישרה לשמחה. We must spread our love around. We must hear this sacred sound. We must work till peace has come. We must love and live as one and be alive. Oz aru ala tzadik uyishre lesimcha. Oz aru ala tzadik uyishre lesimcha.
You can find the blessing for the Sabbath lights on pages 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
So sometimes over the years, I've told a story and woven it throughout the service, and that's what I have planned for tonight. So hopefully y'all have joined us on time, so you can hear all parts of the story. And maybe it'll have a message for you this first day after Yom Kippur, when we are making our resolutions about how it is that we want to live day by day. There once was a king who loved nothing better than to go out alone in the clothes of a commoner. He wanted to meet the ordinary people of his kingdom, learn their way of life, and especially their way of thinking about the world. One night, this king found himself walking in the poorest, narrowest street of the city. This was the street of the Jews. He heard a song in the distance, and the king thought, a song sung in this place of poverty must be a lament. But as he got closer, he could hear the true character of the song. It was a song of pride. The king was drawn to the source of the song, the smallest, humblest shack on the street. He knocked on the door. Is a stranger welcome here? The voice from within said, a stranger is a gift from God. Baruch haba, come in. And so we join on page 20 and 21 as we welcome in the Sabbath bride.
Yalla la la lecha dodi, yalla la la lekrat kala, yalla la la pnei Shabbat nekaven, yalla la lecha dodi, yalla la lekrat kala, yalla la pnei Shabbat. Shabbat nekavela, Shamor v'z וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה יאללה לה 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 חתוני יאללה לה 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 לכלכלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת לכבד יאללה לה 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 לחתוני יאללה לה 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 לכלכלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת לכבד
In the dim light inside the shack, the king saw a man sitting on the only piece of furniture he had, a wooden box. And when the king came in, the man stood up and sat on the floor, offering the king the crate for a seat. "Well, my friend," the king asked, "what do you do to earn a living?" "Oh, I'm a cobbler." "You have a shop where you make shoes?" "Oh, no, I could not afford a shop. I take my box of tools, you're sitting on them, to the side of the road, and there is where I repair shoes for people as they need them." "You cobble shoes by the side of the road? Can you make enough money that way?" The cobbler spoke with both humility and pride. "Every day, I make just enough money to buy food for that day." "Just enough for one day? Aren't you afraid that one day you won't make enough and you'll go hungry?" "Baruch Adonai L'yom Yom," said the cobbler. "Blessed be God, day by day." We rise for Baruch Hu on page 28.
Yalla lie, lie, lie. 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 Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai lai lai
Be seated, and please join me in Hebrew on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma potech she'arim uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. The next day, the king determined to put this man's philosophy of blessed is God day by day to the test. He issued a proclamation that anybody in the kingdom wishing to cobble shoes by the side of the road must purchase a license for 50 pieces of gold. What would the cobbler do, he wondered. That night, the king returned to the street of the Jews, and again he heard music in the distance and thought, I bet this time the cobbler will be singing a different tune. But when the king neared the house of the man that he'd met the day before, he was astonished to hear the cobbler singing a song that sounded like a sweet love song. The music soared from his lips joyfully, and the song of love may have sounded a little like this.
ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם
page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
The king knocked on the cobbler's door. "Oh, my friend, I heard about that wicked king and his proclamation. I was so worried about you. Were you able to eat today?" "Oh, I was angry when I heard I couldn't make my living in the way I always had," the cobbler replied. "But I knew that I'm entitled to make a living and that I'll just have to find a way." And as I stood there saying those very words to myself, a group of people passed me by, and when I asked where they were going, they told me, into the forest to gather firewood. Every day they bring back wood to sell as kindling. When I asked if I could join them, they said, "There's a whole forest out there, come right along." And we marched to the woods together to gather our wood, singing this song, page 40.
Yai bye 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 yabba bye bye bim bam. Yai bye 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 yabba bye bye bim bam. Yai bye 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 yabba bye bye bim bam. Yai bye 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 yabba bye bye bim bam. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh. Norati lo rosefele, norati lo rosefele. Ba'alechutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amro, Adonai loch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 yai lai lai lam bam. Yai bye 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 bam. Yai bye bye bim bam. Yai bye 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 bye. Yai bye bye bim bam. Yai bye 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 bye. Yai bye bye bim bam.
At the end of the day, said the cobbler, I had gathered enough kindling wood to earn just enough money to buy food for today. The king sputtered. Just enough for one day? What about tomorrow? What about next week? Baruch Adonai Yom L'Yom, blessed be God, day by day. And the king left him. And the next day, the king once again returned to his throne and issued this time a new proclamation. Anyone caught gathering firewood in the royal forest would be inducted into the royal guard. For good measure, he issued another. No new member of the royal guard would be paid for 40 days. And that night, the king returned to the street of the Jews. Amazed, he heard a new song coming from the small, humble home of the cobbler. The king knocked on the door. "Cobbler, what happened to you today?" "Well, they made me stand at attention all day in the royal guard. They issued me a sword and a scabbard, but then they told me I wouldn't be paid for 40 days. Oh, my friend, I bet now you wish you had saved some money." "Well, let me tell you what I did. At the end of the day, I looked at that metal sword blade, and I thought to myself, well, that might be valuable. So I removed the blade from the handle and fashioned another blade of wood. And when the sword is in the scabbard, no one can tell the difference. So I took the metal blade to a pawnbroker, and I pawned it for just enough money to buy food for today. Baruch Adonai Yom L'Yom. Blessed be God day by day. And alas, my friend, the hour is late. Please excuse me that I might recite my bedtime prayers." And as the king left, he heard what sounded like a beautiful lullaby seeping out the windows of the cobbler's shack. Page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom v'hamidenu
Page 44, we join in the singing of Vishamru, and I'll just point your attention to that last word in Vishamru, where it says, Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash. And that word vayinafash, it says it means God was refreshed, but the word nefesh is the word for soul, and that's where that teaching comes from, that we get the extra soul, that's what happened on the seventh day, and that's what happens every seventh day. We get refreshed and re-ensouled.
There's a part for you on this, and you can choose your own harmony. Yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba 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 bum. Yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba 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 bum. And harmonies, yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba 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 bum. Yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba. And more harmonies, yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba 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 bum. Yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba 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 bum. One more, yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba 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 bum. Yeah. Yai ba ba ba, yai ba ba ba, yai ba 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 bum. Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat,
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We say yai ba 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 yai ba 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 yai ba 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 bum yai ba 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 yai ba 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 yai ba 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 bum yai ba 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 yai ba 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 yai ba 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 bum yai ba 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 yai ba 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 yai ba 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 bum. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. יא ביי ביי יא ביי ביי יא ביי ביי בם יא ביי ביי יא ביי ביי יא ביי ביי בם יא ביי ביי יא ביי ביי יא ביי ביי בם Yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye bye. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i shavad v'nafash. Yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye bum. Yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye bum. Yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye bum. Yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye, yabba bye bye bum.
On page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, U'mevii geula livnei bneihem, Le'ma'an shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye metim atah Rab lehoshia. Morid hatal, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh olim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Mi chamocha bal gevurot, umido melech, melech memit, umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha sela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Sorry, that was a little low.
It's
Got
good
to
for the
do
bases.
your register right there. Here's the grand finale of the story. You'll never guess how it ends. The next day, the cobbler was pulled out of line at the king's guard, and he was presented with a prisoner in chains. Cobbler, this man has committed a horrible crime, and you are to take him to the square, and using your sword, you are to behead him. Behead him? I'm an observant Jew. I couldn't take another human life. Well, if you do not, we'll kill both of you. The cobbler led this poor, trembling man into the square where a crowd had gathered to watch. The cobbler put the prisoner's head on the chopping block. He stood tall, his hand on the handle of his sword, and facing the crowd, he spoke. Let God be no witness. I am no murderer. If this man is guilty as charged, let my sword be as always. But if he's innocent, let my sword turn to wood. And he pulled out the sword, and the people gasped when they saw the wooden blade. They bowed down at the great miracle that had happened there. And the king, who had been watching all of this unfold, rushed over to the cobbler. He took him by both of his hands and looked him deep in the eyes and said, I am the king, and I am the friend who's been visiting you these last nights. I want you to come and live with me in the palace, to be my advisor. Please teach me how to live like that, one day at a time. And then in front of everyone, the two of them danced and sang a song of great wholeness and peace. Maybe it sounded like our own Shalom Rav, page 60.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech adom lechol hashalom. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam.
At this time, we think of all of those people in our lives who cannot dance and sing, who do not feel whole, be they broken in mind or body or spirit. And we offer them our blessings of healing and wholeness and renewal and strength. We think of these from our congregational families: Chris Argall, Betty Cohen, Gary Collier, Amy Cooper, Shar DeGrave, Liz Daniel, Elizabeth Draper, Harvey and Susan Filer, Andrew Fisher, Dean Gavney, Jacob and Roger Gluckman, Stuart Goodman, Ramesh Gupta, Bert Horowitz, Laurel and Wally Jonas, Dick Kelvin, Jean Nofel, Chris Kuntz, Allison Miller, Jim Rudisil, Deborah Sanders, Julie Sherman, Shoshana Slatke, Matthew Treehub, Bob Ward, Janet Weil, Marvin Wolf, and Charles Zellerbach, as well as all of those who are mentioned lovingly in the chat this evening. And are there additional names to share aloud here?
Mishavera Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. May the one who blessed the ones before us hear our prayer and bless us as well.
Bless us with the promise of tomorrow.
Bless us with the strength to find our way. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow and give us strength to face another day. Mishavera Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Mishavera Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. May the one who blessed the ones before us hear our prayer and bless us as well. May the one who blessed the ones before us hear our prayer and bless us as well.
We share a few moments in silence.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu l'ratzon refi, v'hekyon libi lefanecha, Adonai, tzuri v'goali.
So that was a story from the Baal Shem Tov, who's the great-grandson of, that was a story from Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, who was the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov. And he struggled with depression his whole life, and he died at age 38 of consumption. And he also taught the greatest mitzvah there is to be joyful. So I don't know if that explains that story to you, that it came from a person whose life was built in difficult, and yet who understood in some way that our job is to dig for the small joys, for the moments, for the one day at a time that's just this. And it reminded me of a reading that I carried with me and thought that would fit somewhere into our High Holy Day season, and I didn't realize it was going to fit right now. So I ran in to get it. But this is a reading from a person named Jeff Foster called "You Will Lose Everything." And to me it meant something about how to move on after such an intensive season and knowing the uncertainty and fragility of everything, and yet knowing that our job is to make beautiful from chaos and to make joy even within challenge. So here it is. You will lose everything. Your money, your power, your fame, your success, perhaps even your memories. Your looks will go. Loved ones will die. Your body will fall apart. Everything that seems permanent is impermanent and will be smashed. Experience will gradually or not so gradually strip away everything that it can strip away. Waking up means facing this reality with open eyes and no longer turning away. But right now, we stand on sacred and holy ground, for that which will be lost has not yet been lost. And realizing this is the key to unspeakable joy. Whoever or whatever is in your life right now has not been taken away from you. This may sound trivial, obvious, like nothing, but really it is the key to everything. The why and the how and the wherefore of existence. Impermanence has already rendered everything and everyone around you so deeply holy and significant and worthy of your heartbreaking gratitude. Loss has already transfigured your life into an altar. Impermanence has already rendered everything and everyone around you so deeply holy and significant and worthy of your heartbreaking gratitude. Loss has already transfigured your life into an altar. With that, we rise on the back page of our prayer books for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא עשנו לשומרי האדמה, והוא שמנו לשליחי התורה, שהוא שם חיינו איתם, וגורלנו עם כל העולם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. thoughts turn now to all of those whom we have lost, those whom our friends and our neighbors have lost, and the martyrs of our people who we have lost, and those of every race and nation whose lives are a blessing to humanity. We mention by name Ann Miller Ammons, sister of Frank Miller of blessed memory and sister-in-law of Judy Miller, and Suzanne Letterman Lowenstein, mother and mother-in-law of Linda and Randy Gergel, who died in recent days. And we also acknowledge the yard sites of Kate Birkin, Morris Cohen, Maxwell Ingram, Morton Kahn, Minnie Kempner, Mary Lawson, Frank Martyr, Franklin Reddig, Sylvia Roberts, Christy Seligman, Ellen Schaefer, Eve Schulruff, Anne Trediak, all of those listed and remembered in the chat. And are there additional names to add here in the sanctuary, Nat? If you are in mourning, I invite you to rise so that we might acknowledge you. And I invite everyone to turn to page 294, standing beside, alongside with our mourners as we join in Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'b'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala ubizman karib imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam alamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela mincho berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Da'amiran ve'alma ve'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen.
May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you, this time is blessed and shining almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life.
This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. With a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run.
And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. And that is why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Tuck, and on behalf of the CBHT Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you all to this evening's service. First, I'd like to begin by thanking Rabbi, Sarah, Kim, Billy for another beautiful service. You guys have done a lot this week and this month, and here you are again, so thank you very much. I'd also like to share a few announcements with you this evening. The Tikkun Olam Committee is looking for volunteers to help prepare and serve lunch at the Veterans Restoration Quarters. This takes place on the third Thursday of each month from about 9:30 to 12:30. The men are vaccinated and COVID restrictions are in place. If you are interested in lending a hand to those who have served us and our country, please contact Buffy in the office. Also, please don't forget to return your contribution for our CBHT collective donation to MANA. Make checks payable to MANA and send to either Elaine Stein or drop off in the office to Buffy. And another chance to give tzedakah. Our children's book drive is on. We are looking for new and gently used picture books to donate to communities in Western North Carolina where children don't have the reading materials they deserve. Drop off books at the temple on Mondays all day or Wednesday between 4 and 6, or any time you come to services. We'll collect through October. October will also bring a new Om Shalom series for the month of Keshvan. Join Rabbi and Luna Ray for a 4-week series of yoga, meditation, and song. Series will be Mondays from 5:30 to 7 p.m. beginning October 11th. Look for the information and registration on Tuesday's email. Monday the 20th is Sukkot, so please join us for a service of music, prayer, and shaking the lulav. Sukkot services will be outside in the amphitheater in our new sukkah at 6:30 p.m. We invite you to bring decorations or just yourself and join in the festivities with Rabbi and Billy. All who are fully vaccinated, as well as kids under the age of 12, are welcome, and everyone should be masked. In the case of rain, services will be in the sanctuary. This service will be in person only, no live stream, so come on out and be in the community. If you'd like to reserve the sukkah for your pod to share a meal, hang out, or do a decoration project, contact Buffy in the office. And then lastly, a week from Monday is Simchat Torah. Come and unfurl Torah as we start a new year of Torah readings. This service will be September 27th at 6:30 p.m. in person only. Look for more information in Tuesday's email. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, y'all. We're going out big. The biggest closing song there is Adon Olam. And we're doing it big Shlomo Karlebach way. I'm getting you the page. Please rise and sing loud, even if you're on your couch at home with your slippers. Let's do it. The time is now. Ki va'moed. Those are the endings, and we're going to end on a joyful note in the spirit of Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, no matter what is happening in our lives. Adon Olam is on page 321. No matter what's happening in our lives, there's also joy to be found.
Adon Olam Hashem Allah B'terem kol yitzir nira Le'et nasa lehefzo kol Hazai melech shemo nikra Ve'acharei kichlot hakol Levado yimloch nora Lehu haya lehu
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.
See, I see double the people now here, because there's two souls in
Oh,
each
yeah.
one of you. Shabbat shalom, everyone at
shalom.
home. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you,
And Len
Cindy.
before from our stream team. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.